The sound of skull meeting glass echoed through the empty bus as Blake Harrington slammed Luna Mitchell's head against the window. Blood trickled down her cheek, mixing with the condensation on the cold surface. Blake's utility knife glinted inches from her face as she began counting in a whisper that somehow carried through the vehicle. 10, 9, 8. You think you're safe just because you transferred here? Blake pressed the blade closer, his breath hot against her ear. Westbridge belongs to us, always has, always will. Luna's eyes remained fixed on the supposedly broken security camera mounted above the driver's seat. 7, 6, 5. The medical bracelet on her wrist pulsed red, unnoticed by her attackers. 4, 3, 2. Her lips curved into the faintest smile. 1. The bus lights flickered and died. Before we dive deeper into Luna's story, if you've ever witnessed or experienced bullying, you know how powerless it can feel. But sometimes, the quiet ones harbor the most surprising strengths. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and share your thoughts below. Every voice matters in fighting back against those who prey on others. What the hell? Jordan Wells, Blake's muscled enforcer, tightened his grip on Luna's arms as emergency lighting kicked in. Driver, what's going on? The driver, a middle-aged man who'd been conspicuously focused on his radio instead of the assault happening behind him, fumbled with the ignition. Don't know. Everything just shut down. Ethan Brooks held his phone up, frustration creeping into his voice. My live stream's lagging. We've got 47,000 viewers waiting for the show, Blake. They're betting on when she'll crack. The Elite Three had earned their reputation through systematic destruction. 5 students before Luna had learned that opposing them meant social death, or worse. Rebecca Chen had been their last victim, found in her bathtub after fabricated videos destroyed her future. The police ruled it suicide. The Elite Three called it natural selection. Blake yanked Luna's head back by her hair, examining her face in the dim light. She hadn't made a sound beyond the countdown. No tears, no pleas, no attempts to fight back. It was unnatural, unsettling even to someone who fed on fear. 3 hours ago, you had the nerve to reject me in front of everyone, Blake hissed. Do you know what that means? Do you understand the position that puts me in? Luna's response was silence, but her fingers traced strange patterns on the fogged window. To the boys, it looked like nervous fidgeting. They didn't recognize the tactical hand signals being recorded by something far more sophisticated than a broken security camera. She's probably too scared to talk, Jordan laughed, shifting his weight to pin her more firmly against the seat. Or maybe she's just stupid. Hey, mute girl, cat got your tongue? Ethan zoomed his camera in on Luna's face, broadcasting her bloodied cheek to thousands of anonymous viewers hungry for drama. Chat's going crazy. Someone just donated $500 to see Blake cut her hair. What do you say, Captain? Blake's family owned half the pharmaceutical companies in Connecticut. His father's donations kept Westbridge's board obedient, the administration blind. When Blake had casually mentioned during freshman orientation that rules were for scholarship kids, he wasn't exaggerating. 4 years later, he'd built an empire of fear with Jordan's fists and Ethan's digital weapons. You know what I love about quiet girls? Blake traced the knife along Luna's jawline, careful not to cut yet, savoring the anticipation. They bottle everything up, makes it so much more satisfying when they finally break. He grabbed a fistful of her long black hair, positioning the blade. Every minute you stay silent, I take more. The viewers are taking bets. 5 minutes until tears, 10 until you're begging. Jordan, make sure you hold her steady. We want a clean cut for the camera. Luna's medical bracelet pulsed faster now, shifting from red to amber. Still, none of them noticed. They were too focused on their performance, too drunk on power to recognize the trap closing around them. The bus had stopped on the isolated stretch of Route 12 that cut through Westbridge Forest. No other vehicles, no witnesses, just like they'd planned. The driver had been paid well to take this route, to ignore whatever happened in the back, to claim mechanical problems if questioned later. Blake's phone buzzed with notifications. Premium subscribers were flooding the private stream, offering increasingly disturbing suggestions. The Elite Three had discovered early that teenage cruelty could be monetized. Their network stretched across 7 states, connecting privileged predators who paid handsomely for exclusive content. "Temperature's dropping in here," Ethan muttered, his breath suddenly visible. "Must be the heating system failing with the engine." But Luna knew better. The temperature drop was precisely calibrated, part of a larger sequence she'd initiated with her countdown. Every detail had been planned, every variable accounted for. The boys thought they were hunters. They had no idea they were prey. Blake made the first cut, severing a 2-inch section of Luna's hair and holding it up like a trophy. "One down? Still feeling brave, new girl?" The chat exploded with reactions, donations pouring in. Someone offered $1,000 for her shirt. Another promised $2,000 for tears. The dehumanization was systematic, practiced, profitable. Jordan noticed something first. "Blake, check this out." He'd been going through Luna's backpack, looking for humiliating secrets to share with the audience. Instead, he found a prescription bottle with an unusual label. "Witness Protection Program? What kind of medication is that?" Blake snatched the bottle, studying it under his phone's flashlight. The label was official, government-issued, with classification codes he didn't recognize. For the first time since cornering Luna, uncertainty flickered across his face. "Probably fake," Ethan suggested, but his voice lacked conviction. "Some kids buy props online to seem interesting." "Does she seem like she's trying to seem interesting?" Blake countered, gesturing at Luna's eerily calm demeanor. Blood still trickled from the gash on her temple, but she hadn't even winced. That's when Blake decided to check her phone. If she had secrets, they'd be there. Everyone's were. He grabbed it from her pocket, surprised to find it unlocked. The home screen displayed a single app he'd never seen before, Guardian Protocol 3.0. The interface was unlike anything in the App Store. Military-grade encryption warnings, satellite uplink indicators, and most disturbing of all, a countdown timer that had been running since Luna stepped onto the bus. As Blake stared at the screen, text began appearing in real time. DNA sample collected from weapon. Facial recognition complete. Voice print analysis archived. Evidence package compiling. What is this? Blake's confidence wavered as he scrolled through the app's features. Quantum encryption, autonomous threat detection, multi-agency alert system. This wasn't consumer software. This was the kind of technology defense contractors developed for protecting high-value assets. The kind that cost more than most people's houses. Before anyone could respond, the phone's screen flashed a warning. Defensive measures authorized. Deployment in T-minus 90 seconds. "It's counting down to something," Ethan said, leaning over to look. His streaming had completely frozen now. 47,000 viewers stuck staring at a buffering screen. "Blake, something's wrong here. My phone's acting weird too. The stream quality shouldn't be degrading like this." Jordan released Luna's arms to examine his own device. "Mine's the same. It's like something's interfering with the signal." They didn't understand that Luna's Guardian Protocol app wasn't just protection software. It was an electronic warfare suite designed to gradually degrade and compromise hostile devices while maintaining perfect evidence chains for legal prosecution. Every frame of video, every word spoken, every digital footprint was being captured, encrypted, and transmitted to secure servers miles away. "Forget the phones," Blake snarled, trying to regain control of the situation. "We finish what we started." She rejected me. She disrespected the natural order. Nobody says no to Blake Harrington. He raised the knife again, but this time Luna moved. It wasn't the panicked flailing of a victim. Her hand shot up with surgical precision, pressing something on her medical bracelet. The small device emitted a barely audible pulse, and suddenly every piece of electronic equipment on the bus went haywire. Ethan's phone sparked and died. Jordan's smartwatch started smoking. Even Blake's knife, which they now realized had an electronic component, went dead in his hand. The tactical knife's spring-assisted mechanism locked up, rendering it useless. "EMP," Luna said, speaking for the first time. Her voice was calm, analytical. Nothing like the terrified whisper they'd expected. Localized electromagnetic pulse, very effective in confined spaces. The three boys stood frozen, processing the impossibility of their victim speaking with such authority. Luna slowly stood up, no longer playing the helpless transfer student. Blood still marked her face, but she wore it like war paint now. "Jordan, you found my medication. Did you read the full label? Witness Protection Program isn't the drug name. It's the issuing authority." She touched her medical bracelet again, and a small holographic display projected into the air between them. "This bracelet isn't for allergies. It's a panic button with satellite uplink, vital sign monitoring, and yes, defensive countermeasures." "You're lying," Blake stammered, but his voice cracked. The hierarchy he'd built, the power structure that defined his existence, was crumbling. "Am I?" Luna pulled down her collar slightly, revealing the barcode scar they'd noticed earlier. "This isn't decorative. It's a tracking implant. Military grade, usually reserved for deep cover operatives and protected witnesses, the kind of people whose safety matters to federal agencies." The bus suddenly felt smaller, the forest outside darker. They'd chosen this isolated route for privacy, but now it felt like a trap. No witnesses meant no help. No cell service meant no calling Daddy's lawyers. "The countdown you saw on my phone? That wasn't for defensive measures. Those already deployed." Luna's expression remained unreadable. "That was for response time. Federal response time." As if on cue, a low thrumming sound began to build in the distance. The boys looked at each other, recognition dawning. They knew that sound from action movies, from news footage, helicopters. Multiple helicopters. "You have approximately 4 minutes before this bus is surrounded," Luna continued. "Your live stream wasn't lagging, Ethan. It was being rerouted through federal servers. Every viewer, every comment, every donation is being traced. Your entire network is compromised." "She's bluffing," Jordan said, but sweat beaded on his forehead despite the cold. "She has to be bluffing. The FBI doesn't embed teenage agents in high schools." Luna smiled then, and it was neither cruel nor kind. It was the expression of someone who'd played a long game and won. "Who said I was FBI? And more importantly, who said I was really a teenager?" The helicopter rotors grew louder, searchlights beginning to sweep through the trees. Blake's hands trembled as reality crashed down around him. The kingdom he'd built on fear and privilege was collapsing in real time. "Then, what are you?" Blake's voice barely rose above the approaching aircraft. "What kind of person does this?" Luna wiped the blood from her cheek with practiced indifference. "Someone who understands predators. You see, Blake, your mistake wasn't targeting me. It was believing your own myth. You thought Westbridge was yours because Daddy's money said so. But you forgot something crucial. Even kingdoms fall when they're built on innocent bones." The driver, who'd been frozen in his seat throughout the confrontation, suddenly stood up. His transformation was remarkable. The slouched posture straightened, revealing someone trained in combat stances. The nervous fumbling disappeared, replaced by tactical precision. "Agent Rivera, FBI Crimes Against Children Unit," he announced, producing credentials that caught the emergency lighting. "Gentlemen, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit sexual exploitation of minors, distribution of child pornography, extortion, and violation of federal cybercrime statutes." Jordan lunged for the emergency exit, but Luna moved faster. Her supposed weakness had been carefully cultivated illusion. 3 years of specialized training flickered through her movements as she swept his legs, sending him crashing into the seats. He stayed down, groaning. 47,000 viewers, Luna said conversationally as Rivera zip-tied Jordan's wrists. "That's a lot of witnesses to your confession. Every premium subscriber, every donor, every participant in your sick marketplace. We have them all." Ethan's phone, despite being fried, suddenly projected one final image. The sophisticated technology wasn't dead, just selectively disabled. The screen showed his private folders, the ones he thought were encrypted, displaying evidence that made Blake's assault seem tame by comparison. Hundreds of videos, thousands of images, a carefully catalogued library of destroyed lives. "The forensic evidence platform captured everything," Luna explained, noting their confused expressions. "Oh, you didn't realize? When you grabbed my phone, when you touched my devices, you initiated a two-way connection. Your phones became evidence collectors. Every deleted file recovered, every hidden folder exposed, every blockchain transaction traced." The projection expanded, showing detailed forensic maps of their network. Names, addresses, payment records, victim lists. The Elite Three weren't just high school bullies. They were nodes in something monstrous, a network that spanned prestigious schools across 7 states. Rich boys playing God with scholarship kids' lives, monetizing misery for cryptocurrency. "Rebecca Chen," Luna said quietly, and all 3 boys flinched. She didn't kill herself, did she? The deepfake videos were just the start. You had plans for her. Trafficking plans. But she found out about your network, tried to expose you, so you silenced her. "You can't prove that," Blake whispered, but his protest lacked conviction. "Actually, we can." Rivera pulled out a tablet showing chat logs, payment receipts, even audio recordings. "Your friend Ethan here kept meticulous records. Never thought anyone would crack his encryption. Funny thing about teenage hackers, they always overestimate their abilities." The bus door exploded inward as tactical teams swarmed inside. FBI SWAT in full gear, weapons drawn, but not needed. The boys who'd terrorized dozens cowered like the children they really were, stripped of their digital armor and daddy's protection. "Operation Schoolyard," the lead agent announced. 3 years of investigation, 17 undercover operatives in schools across the country. You boys were the kingpins of something you couldn't even comprehend. Thought you invented cruel streaming? You were just following a playbook written by predators decades older. As they dragged Blake toward the exit, he turned to Luna one last time. "You're not really 17, are you? This whole thing, the Transfer Student Act, it was all fake?" Luna considered the question. "The girl you tried to destroy today? She was real. The fear in her eyes when you cornered her in the hallway? Real. The blood on my face? Definitely real. The only fake thing here was your power, Blake. It was always borrowed from Daddy, never earned. They loaded the Elite Three into separate vehicles, standard procedure to prevent coordination. Through the windows, Luna could see the larger operation unfolding. Roadblocks on every route, more helicopters circling, news vans already arriving despite the remote location. Someone had leaked the story. Operation Schoolyard would be trending within hours. Rivera handed Luna a medical kit. You pushed the timeline. Original plan had you embedded for another month. They escalated after Rebecca. I couldn't watch another girl die for evidence. Luna cleaned her wound, hands steady, despite the adrenaline crash. Besides, 47,000 viewers gave us more than enough probable cause. The brass isn't happy about the EMP. That tech was supposed to stay classified. Luna shrugged. They wanted authentic reactions. Nothing says authentic like actual federal countermeasures. Besides, the Guardian Protocol demonstration will help Congress understand why we need funding for victim protection tech. Her phone, somehow still functional, buzzed with an encrypted message. The real phone, not the prop she'd let Blake examine. She read it twice, her expression darkening. What is it? Rivera asked. Network analysis from the stream data. The Elite Three were small fish. There's another layer, older, more sophisticated. They call themselves the Professors. College-level operations, adult facilitators, international connections. Rivera cursed under his breath. We knew there might be escalation potential. Didn't think it would surface this fast. Luna looked at the blood on her hands, Blake's and her own mixed together. 3 years of training, 6 months of preparation, and 20 minutes of violence to take down high school predators. But the real monsters were still out there, hiding behind ivory towers and academic credentials. Agent Chen, Rivera said formally. Your cover's blown. Protocol says you're done. Back to witness protection. Let someone else handle the professors. But Luna was already shaking her head. Rebecca Chen was my cousin. They killed her, recorded it, sold it. The Elite Three were weapons. I want the hands that wielded them. You're 17. Really 17. This isn't your fight anymore. That's where you're wrong. Luna pulled out a small device from her medical bracelet. Something that looked like a flash drive but hummed with hidden power. Before the EMP, I copied everything from their phones. Not just the evidence we needed for court, but their handler communications, cryptocurrency wallets, dark web credentials. The Elite Three thought they were players. They were products. The FBI vehicles were pulling away now, taking Blake, Jordan, and Ethan toward federal processing. Within days, their names would be everywhere. Rich boys who hunted poor girls for sport and profit, finally facing consequences money couldn't buy. But Luna's mind was already moving forward. The professors recruited from elite universities, groomed wealthy students into predators, and profited from the destruction. They had judges, politicians, tech executives in their network. The Elite Three's 47,000 viewers were nothing compared to the professor's million-member marketplace. Westbridge Academy will close, Rivera said. Investigation will take years. Every student, every teacher, every administrator under scrutiny. You saved lives today. I revealed a symptom, Luna corrected. The disease is still spreading. She showed Rivera the flash drive's contents. Names that made him pale. Institutions that nobody would suspect. The rabbit hole went deeper than Operation Schoolyard had anticipated. High schools were hunting grounds, but universities were processing plants. This is too big for one person, Rivera protested. You need backup, resources, a team. Luna smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Who says I'm alone? Rebecca had friends, other victims who survived. We've been organizing, preparing. The Elite Three taught us something valuable. They showed us how predators network, how they share resources and protect each other. We learned their language. A second encrypted message arrived, this one with university coordinates: California, New York, Texas, international locations. The survivors' network had been watching, waiting for the first domino to fall. Operation Schoolyard was their signal. You're talking about vigilantism, Rivera warned. Everything we did today was legal, sanctioned. You go after the professors alone, you become the criminal. Not alone, Luna repeated, and not vigilantes. Survivors. There's a difference. We're not seeking revenge. We're preventing the next generation of Elite Threes, the next Rebecca Chen funeral, the next live-streamed destruction. The crime scene techs were processing the bus now, collecting blood samples, documenting every detail. Tomorrow, Westbridge's gates would be locked. News crews camped outside, parents demanding answers about how their prestigious school became a hunting ground. Rivera made one last attempt. Let us handle it. FBI, proper channels, legal framework. Proper channels protected them for decades, Luna said quietly. Rebecca went through proper channels, filed reports, gathered evidence legally, trusted the system. They killed her for it. Sometimes, Agent Rivera, the hunted have to become hunters. She walked away from the bus, leaving Rivera standing among the evidence markers and emergency lights. Her phone buzzed again. Coordinates for a safe house. Documents for a new identity. University admission papers already processed. The network Rebecca had started was vast, well-funded by lawsuit settlements and sealed court payments. Victims who'd been paid for silence were investing in justice. As Luna disappeared into the forest, following a path she'd scouted weeks ago, she thought about Blake's face when he realized his power was illusion. That moment of recognition, when Predator understood he was prey, would fuel her through what came next. The Elite Three were finished, their network exposed, their victims freed. But somewhere in prestigious universities, older predators were watching the news, deleting files, moving money, protecting themselves. They thought their age, education, and connections made them untouchable. They were wrong. Luna pulled up her hood, hiding the scar Blake's attack would leave. Another mark among many. Another reminder of why she fought. In her pocket, the flash drive hummed with secrets that could topple dynasties. High school was just practice, she whispered to the darkness, echoing the message that had started this new chapter. University is where the real predators hunt. And now, so do I. The words hung in the cold night air, mixing with her visible breath. Behind her, the chaos continued, radios crackling with federal codes, evidence bags rustling, the mechanical sounds of justice being served. But ahead lay only darkness and possibility. Luna's fingers traced the flash drive in her pocket, feeling the weight of thousands of victims' stories encrypted within. Rebecca's face flashed in her mind, not as the broken girl from the funeral photos, but as the fierce advocate who'd started mapping this network before they silenced her. Pine needles crunched beneath her feet as she moved deeper into the woods, following GPS coordinates to her extraction point. Each step took her further from Agent Chen, the fabricated teenager, and closer to something new, something necessary. The professors had made one fatal error. They'd created survivors with nothing left to lose and everything to prove. The forest swallowed her shadow as sirens wailed in the distance, their urgent cries already fading into background noise. Red and blue lights painted the trees behind her in alternating flashes. A violent light show marking the end of one war. Operation Schoolyard was over. The real hunt was about to begin.